Love has been a mystery throughout history. Poets, philosophers, and scientists have tried to decipher why we fall in love, what attracts us to another person, and what invisible forces lead us to form deep connections. Today, we will analyze this question from a unique perspective, that of Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century. Jung did not view love as a mere set of fleeting emotions or biologically driven attraction. For him, love was a mirror of our inner world, a reflection of what we lack and simultaneously what we most yearn to find. According to Jung, people fall in love with you for only two reasons. But before revealing what they are, there's something you need to understand. Love is not an accident. We don't fall in love randomly. There is a deep, almost unconscious pattern that dictates our choices, pushing us towards certain people and not others. This pattern is rooted in the deepest layers of our psyche. Jung introduced a fascinating concept: projection. According to him, when we meet someone and feel an instant, inexplicable attraction, what's truly happening is that we are projecting aspects of our own unconscious onto that person. In other words, we fall in love with what already exists within us, albeit unrecognized at a conscious level. Think about this. Have you ever been drawn to someone who embodies exactly what you wish to be? Perhaps someone confident, with impressive inner strength, or a sense of freedom you feel you lack? Jung would say this is no coincidence. What attracts you to that person is a repressed part of yourself desperately seeking to emerge. This leads us to the first reason someone falls in love with you. You represent something they lack, but desperately need. You may have heard the phrase, opposites attract. While it sounds cliché, there's psychological truth behind it. Jung believed every human has a hidden side called the shadow. This shadow contains everything we repress, traits we refuse to accept in ourselves but paradoxically seek in others. For example, a highly rational person might fall madly in love with someone emotional and spontaneous. An introvert might feel irresistible attraction toward an extroverted social individual. In reality, the other person embodies what the individual has repressed internally. It's as if our unconscious says, "There's what I'm missing." But this is only the first reason. There's a second, equally powerful one, tied to an even deeper concept in Jungian theory: the anima and animus. According to Jung, every man carries an internal image of the feminine, the anima, and every woman carries an internal image of the masculine, the animus. These images form over a lifetime, shaped by our experiences, especially in childhood. When we meet someone who embodies these internal characteristics, we feel an instant, irrational attraction. In other words, we fall in love because that person awakens something already present within us. It's not about finding a soulmate from fairy tales, but resonating with a deep, unknown part of ourselves. Here lies the great irony of love. We don't fall in love with someone for who they truly are, but for what they represent to our psyche. However, this creates a problem. If we fall in love by projecting onto someone, what happens when reality clashes with the image we've created? This explains why many relationships that begin with fiery passion end in disappointment. When the illusion of projection fades, we realize the person we loved wasn't exactly as we imagined. We discover their flaws, fears, and weaknesses. At this point, we face two choices: accept the real person with all their complexities, or reject them and continue searching for someone who fits our idealized image. The issue is that many people never break this cycle. They jump from one relationship to another, always seeking someone to fill their void, complete their shadow, or fit the image they've built in their unconscious. Jung invites us to do something different. Instead of seeking in others what we lack, we must work to integrate these missing parts within ourselves. If you're shy and drawn to extroverts, perhaps it's time to develop your own confidence. If you fall for secure, independent people, ask yourself what aspects of your life make you feel dependent or insecure. For Jung, love is not about finding someone to complete us, but about discovering ourselves through our relationships. This leads to a powerful conclusion. People fall in love with you for two reasons. Either you represent something they lack and yearn for, or you embody an internal image already present within them. But the true challenge isn't just falling in love. It's sustaining love when illusions fade. The next time you wonder why someone fell in love with you, consider this. Are you a reflection of what they lack, or a reminder of something already existing within their soul? Importantly, you fall in love for the same reasons. But love isn't just about initial attraction. Something far deeper is at play. Something Jung understood better than anyone. The process of individuation. According to Jung, humans aren't born whole. We spend our lives integrating different parts of ourselves, balancing light and shadow, developing what we lack, and understanding what we already possess. Love, though seemingly external, is actually a tool of our unconscious to accelerate this process. Think of it this way. Everyone who enters your life and leaves an emotional mark is, in a sense, a teacher. They show you something about yourself you might not have discovered otherwise. They reflect your insecurities, hidden fears, and deepest desires. This is why Jung called love both a transformative force and a dangerous trap. If you're unaware of your projections, you might spend a lifetime chasing illusions, believing love lies outside when it's always been within. Many people mistake true love for finding someone who meets all their expectations or fits their ideal partner image. But the deepest love isn't about filling voids, it's about helping you discover yourself. Look at your past relationships and intense crushes. What did they have in common? What part of you did they reflect? Ultimately, the big question isn't why people fall in love with you, but what it means for your inner journey. Love has many layers. What we see on the surface, attraction, chemistry, connection, is just a small part of the psychological and emotional dynamics at play. To understand why people fall in love with us and how relationships work, we must look beyond the obvious. Jung gave us a key to understanding love from a deeper perspective, the integration of our psyche. This means we consciously choose people who help us confront our wounds. Falling in love isn't just about desire or compatibility. On a deeper level, it's a mechanism pushing us to grow. Why do some people repeat the same relationship patterns? Why does someone abandoned in childhood attract partners who leave? Why does someone afraid of vulnerability fall for emotionally intense people? The answer lies in what Jung called the original wound. We all carry a psychological wound formed in our early years. It manifests in fears of rejection, feelings of inadequacy, or difficulty trusting others. Though often unconscious, it influences our romantic choices more than we admit. If someone falls in love with you, they might unconsciously see you as a key piece in their healing process. Your personality might remind them of something from their childhood or relate to a deep-seated fear. But here's the crucial point. Just because someone falls for these reasons doesn't guarantee a healthy or easy relationship. In fact, the most intense, passionate relationships often cause the most pain because they touch deep wounds. Jung said love is one of the most powerful paths to personal transformation. When two people fall in love, they inevitably confront their shadows. This is why many relationships that start with overwhelming intensity end in chaos. Love brings out not only the best in us, but also what we'd rather keep hidden. You might have experienced this. At the start, everything feels perfect. You feel understood in a way no one else has managed. But over time, conflicts arise, tensions and differences that seem irreconcilable. This isn't coincidence. It's love forcing us to evolve. Many people fail here, mistaking love for a comfort. They believe relationships should always be easy, but real love, as Jung described, isn't about being with someone who makes us feel good. It's about being with someone who challenges us to become our best selves. People fall in love with you not just because you represent what they lack, but because you're destined to help them see parts of themselves they need to work on. This raises another question. What happens when love isn't reciprocated? Here, we enter another rarely explored aspect of love, the other as a reflection of our psychological destiny. For Jung, everyone we interact with, especially those we form deep bonds with, has a purpose in our evolution. It's no accident certain people enter our lives at specific times. Sometimes they mirror who we are in that moment. Other times, they preview who we might become. Imagine meeting someone whose confidence dazzles you. You might feel instant attraction, as if they possess something you desire. Jung would say this: attraction isn't about them. but about a version of yourself you haven't fully developed. The same applies to people who challenge us, bringing out our worst. These uncomfortable relationships are equally important. Jung called this the shadow confrontation process. Our shadow contains everything we've repressed: fears, hidden desires, insecurities. When we fall in love, our shadow activates. Love isn't just connecting with another human, it's self-exploration. If a relationship stirs intense emotions, it's touching unconscious aspects needing integration. Some relationships transform us completely. Afterward, we're never the same, not because the other person changed, but because we've discovered something new about ourselves. Even more intriguing is Jung's idea that impactful people don't enter our lives randomly. He spoke of synchronicity, the notion that certain encounters aren't coincidences, but manifestations of a deeper universal order. You've likely experienced this, meeting someone exactly when needed or feeling an instant connection. From Jung's perspective, these aren't mere coincidences. They're part of a personal evolution process. People fall for you because, on some level, their souls seek an experience only you can provide: a lesson, transformation, or closure. Conversely, you fall for people destined to teach you about yourself. This leads to a fascinating idea. What happens when someone enters your life, awakens intense emotions, then disappears? If you've experienced a fleeting but unforgettable love, you've witnessed synchronicity in action. Jung would say that person wasn't meant to stay, but to leave a message, something you needed to learn. Many suffer here because we want love to be permanent. But Jung reminds us love's true purpose isn't permanence, but growth. Some stay for a lifetime, others only a moment. All leave marks on your evolution. This raises another question. If people fall for us because we represent something they need, how can we use this knowledge to build authentic, meaningful relationships? Love isn't just a reflection of who we are, but who we could become. Everyone entering your life carries a hidden message, a clue about what your unconscious is trying to show. Jung emphasized individuation, the path to total integration of our being. Relationships are powerful tools for this process. Each love you've experienced has revealed a different part of you. One relationship taught strength. Another showed your capacity for vulnerability. But here's the twist. Not everyone falls for you for the same reasons. Depending on your life stage, you attract different people. If you're growing, you'll attract challenges. If insecure, you might attract those reinforcing your fears. This isn't coincidence. The people in your life reflect your internal state. What you attract aligns with what your psyche needed to experience. Relationships aren't random. They're manifestations of unconscious processes seeking balance. When someone falls for you, they see not just your surface, but what you represent deeply: an echo of their past, a symbol of their future, or a chance to face what they've avoided. But this brings us to a fundamental, rarely discussed aspect: the fear of love. Why do some feel intense attraction but flee? Why can't some maintain stable relationships despite desiring love? Jung's answer: fear of transformation. True love changes us. It forces us to confront parts of ourselves we'd rather ignore, to trust, relinquish control, and open up without guarantees. Many aren't ready for this. This fear isn't superficial resistance, but a deeply rooted defense mechanism. Jung explained that the psyche has multiple layers, with the shadow being highly influential. When we fall in love, our shadow activates. We see not only what attracts us, but what challenges us. This creates a paradox, desiring love while fearing what it might reveal. People may self-sabotage, create unnecessary conflict, or chase emotionally unavailable partners to avoid real commitment. In all cases, the issue isn't lack of love, but fear of what love reveals. Overcoming these fears requires individuation, integrating all parts of ourselves, even those we've rejected. This demands courage to question deep-seated beliefs and embrace new ways of experiencing love. Many discover their ideal type was merely a projection of their lacks. They realize they don't seek completion, but companionship in evolution. When this happens, love stops being a game of dependency and becomes genuine connection. Another fascinating aspect of how we love is the role of archetypes. Jung identified universal patterns influencing our psyche and relationships. The lover archetype represents union, passion, and seeking meaning through another. When activated, we experience love intensely. Other archetypes include the hero, overcoming obstacles to win love, and the sage, viewing love as self-discovery. Each person we meet activates different archetypes. Some awaken adventure, others challenge maturity, some reopen old wounds. Importantly, our most significant relationships often aren't consciously chosen, but feel destined, as if the collective unconscious guides us to certain people at exact moments. These connections may be brief or lifelong, but always leave indelible marks. Jung spoke of psychological alchemy, life experiences transforming our essence. Love, more than anything, catalyzes this transformation. We fall in love not just for beauty or compatibility, but because the other offers a chance to become our best selves. They show us what we need to see, even if we resist it. Love isn't static, but dynamic. What we feel today evolves tomorrow. Our ideal partner image shifts as we grow. This reminds us that love can't be fully possessed or controlled. It's a constant flow of discovery, a dialogue between our psyche and others. Ultimately, people fall in love with you for two reasons. You reflect what they yearn for, and you activate a part of themselves waiting to be recognized.